Welcome back. This is Econo Chat. Let's talk business with Mr. Daniel Steinman and myself, Elsaby. And of course, we have been talking about very important topics or issues in relation to the economy that affects us on a daily basis, or even just some positivity and information that we need to know. And now today we are talking about the GDP growth. We have been touching on a few things that that makes us happy and we see a bright future. But then there's also stagflation.
There is stuff that scares me.
Yes.
And stagflation is one of them.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm keeping a very keen eye on which way inflation is going. Now, remember I explained to you just before the break, if inflation is higher than GDP growth, that is typical stagflation.
Yeah.
It means that you are in an inflationary environment, that's where the word comes from, but your growth is stagnant. You are growing fast, but despite the fast growth, the progress is being eaten up, eroded.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it, because that's what inflation does. It dilutes your growth figures. It really eats up your good performance. And this is what we must be watching out for. And the difficult part is that you generally, and I'm generalizing now to make it easy to understand. I want the listeners to picture in their mind that you have this situation where we've had two fantastic growth quarters.
Yeah.
Now compare 5.3 and 5.6% to the negative 8% of 2020 in the midst of COVID. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Like, how can we
ugly
project that?
statistic,
Yes.
very, very, very bad. And we didn't think it was possible, but it wasn't just us; it was the whole world, because everybody was affected in equal measure by COVID. So there was basically nothing you could do. So when we now moving into a phase where there's a reasonable expectation that we will be growing at least 5%. Incidentally, the official Bank of Namibia adjusted growth estimate is now 3.3%.
Okay.
So that shows you they're still very conservative. They just like you and I, they see, wow, two fantastic quarters, but they don't trust the peace. It's like when you stand on the banks of the Zambezi and it's also nice and quiet, but there's a crocodile in there. You just don't know where. So it's very similar. I would expect that Bank of Namibia would increase the growth estimate at least twice more still this year. So we are probably going to get to an official figure of around about 3.8%, which in itself is not bad.
Okay.
I mean, if you come from a minus 8% in 2020 and a very modest 0.3% last year, less than 1%, I mean, that's basically break even, but you still have to fill up that hole that you dug in 2020. So if you can do it 5% this year, 5% next year, then you are in a better position than what you were before COVID.
Yeah.
And this is the whole thing, we everybody is looking at the stats and they ask me every day, are we or are we not in a better position than pre-COVID? I love this question, but I answer very carefully, because you have to remember that the Namibian economy was technically in a negative phase from about the end of 2016. So we had the better part of 4 bad years before COVID struck us. Again, you have to look at trends in economics. If you talk about GDP growth, the figure for 1 year is not important. It is which way, the direction. What way is it pointing to? And the poor performance of 2017, 18, and 19 comes after fantastic performance from 2012 to 2015. So I'm not too concerned about the fact that the economy was in contraction before COVID. I'm more concerned about what are the growth prospects now.
Okay.
And in our last part of this week's conversation, we will look at what forecasting difficulties there are for 2023 and 2024.
Okay, and on that note, we will go for another short break, and when we come back, we will conclude with forecasting difficulty for 2023 and 2024.